This is the Balanced Advisor Podcast with Dr. Travis Perry, helping financial advisors like you achieve balance in their lives.
Welcome to another episode of the Balanced Advisor Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Travis Perry. Today in studio, we have Bill Bloom. Bill is a family-first sailboat racing, book reading, and founder of two financial companies, Bloom Financial and Diane Money. Retire as you desire is his motto, and he believes in doing good for others is the best feeling in the world. Bill has his wife, Jude, and two kiddos, James and Noah. Welcome to the show, Bill.
Travis, this is going to be so much fun. Talk about balance, talk about scaling, the important things in business.
That's right. Business and life, right? Because balance is all about that integration, that harmony, which we'll jump into. But first, you're in this industry, you started two companies. We've had a great time in the pre-show discussing some more details, which we're going to highlight today. But how'd you get here? What did you want to be an advisor from the get-go? Like, how did you get into this industry? And tell us a little bit about your history, man.
History. So how much time do we have? This is going to be a good one. I'll try and keep this short and sweet. But right in university, we had a gentleman who taught our finance classes, and he was a financial advisor. I went to a really small school, and he was really on it. He seemed super sharp. He seemed relatable. I remember he had a big old Cadillac Escalade. This was like a small town in West Virginia. So I was like, oh, this guy has to have money. I was like, okay, I want to look into this because I knew I could relate to people. And I didn't understand how money worked at that time. My parents could never figure out how money could work for them. So I knew that whenever I had a family, that I wanted to have money to be able to work for us, because it was a huge stress in our household growing up, always was. There was points where, we weren't really sure if we were going to have a roof over our head. We always had food on our table, but it was at the point where, mortgage payments were late. And how do we do this? Second mortgage, debt. How do we get out of debt? And that's just not the life that I wanted. And I thought if I could figure it out for myself, I could figure it out for other people. And that just really became a passion of mine in 2008 when I started in the business.
We have a very similar background, my friend. Money was really the biggest issue that my parents and family had growing up. There were other things. There was health-related challenges, which affected our money. So I kind of feel that there's three of my five siblings had a genetic disorder that no insurance company would cover.
Wow.
So, bless my parents, like they tried to do their best with everything they had. My dad was a business owner and he grappled with it, but I relate to what you're talking about there. That is something that you didn't understand. I didn't understand it. I probably, looking back now, have a better understanding than some, because I think I followed some of the principles that my parents ascribed to, just had a hard time putting into force. Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense. We're not educated on it at all. Growing up, not in school, it's all on purpose. And we live in such a great environment now where really most people, if you have, your brain capacity, your limbs, right, you have a lot of opportunity to become wealthy or to become independent, and you could rely on your own assets. And that's really what the Retire As You Desire lifestyle is all about. That's been created throughout the years. Just taking a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of client meetings, a lot of research. And it's not an easy business to be in. It takes a ton of effort, ton of time, a lot of rejection, and but it's truly fun. There's a ton of blessings in our financial world. So really grateful for all of it, the ups and the downs.
Well, like you, I was inspired by several actually financial advisors doing different parts of the whole financial planning picture. One was a stock trader. One was an accountant who, did financial planning. And, I noticed that their work-life balance, at least from one gentleman, seemed pretty great. Like, hey, it's flexible. You can build your own schedule. And I thought this is great. Is it going to pay well? And I can manage my own schedule. I love this. And I dove into it, only to find out that, yeah, as a business owner, there's a struggle with balance, and a lot of advisors still struggle with it. And that's what I do, why I do what I do. But on your end, as an advisor, what have you found to be a great definition of balance for you?
Balance for me means being able to do family things first, meaning you plan your life around your family. And my business has just been incredible because balance is having the right fit clients, meaning working with the right kind of people, because you can't be a hero to everyone. You don't want to have everyone as a client. If people are calling you on Saturday afternoons or Sunday evenings and they're just unhappy people, ungrateful people, that's not balance. Those are headaches. Those are struggles, and you don't have to work with them. Balance is saying no. Let me repeat this. No is a sentence. It's okay to say no to people. You don't have to say yes to everything. And I think a lot of advisors, I've struggled with it. We all do, with everyone, with family members. It's just part of life. It's hard to say no. And balance is about knowing who you are and what you're good at, and finding your team members who could help bring balance to your business. But when you bring balance to your business, you bring balance to your life, because then you're not doing all those crappy things that you're not good at. And you have other team members who love doing them, and that gives them energy. And that creates balance and harmony too, because your business is a lot less volatile. That's what I've witnessed over the years.
This is sage wisdom, family first, having the right fit clients, not working on weekends. I love what you mentioned there. Like this is noteworthy right here. No is a sentence. I've done plenty of trainings on how to say no. And you know what it typically comes down to, Bill, is people are afraid. They are afraid of something, someone. They're afraid of failing. They're afraid of not having the right protocols, or they're afraid of offending someone, not living up to expectation of a client is a lot of the times what it is. But you are exactly right. No is a sentence, but it's also an opportunity. When you say no, you're saying yes to something more important. Mm-hmm. I think that when you put it in that perspective, as an advisor, we're always trying to help our clients, help them through the process, help them to achieve their goals, whatever it is that we're directing them. And sometimes we need to say no to those clients. But it's always better if you train them. So then they know when you say no, you mean it, and you're going to keep it, and you have those boundaries set. So you're not working Saturdays and weekends and holidays, etc. So great advice here. I love that you have a very strong sense of balance. So with that, as you've been scaling your business, what has been, a strength of yours to keep that balance? Now that you feel like you're there and you're scaling this business, what has helped you as you've been bringing more business on to really keep it there?
It's really about planning out my weeks and trying to stick to them. I've been a strategic coach since 2014. That was like the best investment that I've made. So that's when I started my firm and went independent, lost all my clients, couldn't talk to them for 9 months and 2 years. I had $24,000 of net profit that year. Being 28, it was just an interesting cycle. And it was truly a blessing because I didn't have to bring everyone back over when the doors opened up again. There were people purposely who I didn't contact again because they were not a right fit. And I didn't understand that at the time, but it was just bad energy. They just were not grateful people. And I have like a rule. They have to be grateful, people who won't sacrifice their family. So you set boundaries around that. So throughout the years, I literally started over from scratch, scaling the business. I'm still scaling. I feel like you're always growing, trying to grow at least. The minute you take your foot off the gas is when bad things happen to you personally, mentally, physically. It's just not a good sign. I'm always going to be learning. I'm always going to be looking to grow every single day, make those 1% improvements. And that's really what's been a big blessing throughout these past 8 years since 2014, is going from nothing to have a successful business and creating it to be self-managing, because my team is incredible. They do such a fantastic job. And scaling's hard though. It's finding those right fit clients, doing it in a faster manner. I mean, who doesn't want more revenue faster in their business? And that's been something that has always been like a crux to my business, because you want to try things and try seminars and these virtual webinars and all this stuff, and it just didn't pan out because I tried to follow other people's formulas. That's never worked for me. So I've made it a hard no to say no to other people's formulas and be unique in my own way, do things my own way, say things my own way. And that's proven to be the best investment. And my clients have a much better outcome that way.
So you're saying that doing the coaching has really allowed you to come up with this idea that's allowed you to be very unique, right? Really honing in on that. I'm looking at your background. Those who aren't watching the YouTube video, I'm seeing 10 statements behind you that are very unique to you. They've got drawings, they've got pictures associated with basically statements, maybe values or mantras, or whatever you want to say, that allow your clients most likely to follow. Retire as you desire, write it down, watch it happen. Money creates options. I would call those even scripts, and I think Klon Scholar, they would all agree, like those are money scripts. Those are psychological mantras that you say or teach your clients on how to create better money habits. And that's wonderful. But so I can tell that you're very creative, and as an individual, you like to have that creativity. When you struggle with trying to scale, where do you find yourself? Like, oh, I'm struggling right now. Where would you say like your biggest struggle is in that scaling while trying to keep your balance?
Well, keeping the balance is first and foremost the most important thing, because family life, work life, you have to have balance there. From a scaling standpoint, it's just about having those right kind of clients who I really want to be a hero to, Travis. Come into the door, raise their hand, say hello, say, you know what, I heard your podcast, or I saw your YouTube, and I really like what you're saying, and I want to be part of what you're doing and be part of your community, or that retire as you desire lifestyle that we've created. Because it is a lifestyle. It's always a choice. We have choices. We live in the most abundant country in the world. We have unlimited resources from a lot of different ways. So I just really love having the right people around me. And another thing is, you said something earlier about teaching our clients and letting them know how things work. Like, I have free days. That's where I don't touch my email for 24 hours. I have focus days. That's where I'm doing my client meetings and podcasts and doing my creative work. And then buffer days. Those are days when you're doing cleanup work and you're catching up with your team and who's coming to the event. And did this application get processed? Where's the transfer? Things like that. And when you segment your days that way, I've learned, it gives you so much balance and structure from your team. And that's, again, saying no to people. Can you meet on this day? No, because this is a buffer day. I only do certain things this day. Can you meet on this Friday because of XYZ? It's like, no, that's a free day because my family and I will be out of town, or XYZ, or that's a day that I just want to go sail or go do a regatta that I've been looking forward to doing. So that's been an incredible change. And that's what coaches taught me as well.
Yeah, I love it. There's a lot of overlap with strategic coach and the make time method. I teach my clients very similar things. Have an ideal calendar for work, but also have an ideal calendar for every other aspect of your life. And I think that can really help with those boundaries, so that you can say like, yeah, today is my off day. Fridays, they're my off days. I don't work. I don't take appointments. I may make exceptions if I've had, several Monday holidays in a row, like, because, that's, I can do that. But for the most part, that's how it goes. Mondays are my business development days. Tuesday, Thursdays, I do podcasts. Wednesdays, I do a lot of client work. So you're exactly right. And the thing is too, is I show up I'm wearing my Balance Advisor t-shirt today. You're watching on the YouTube. You see that, right? I'm wearing it typically when I'm doing these podcasts, because this is the mindset for today. And this is the third podcast I've done. And it's great because I just know I get to wear jeans and a t-shirt to work and just relax, talking and enjoying this concept. My mind is in a different place. So I love the strategic type of day setup, and I 100% agree with it. You mentioned something a couple of times now, the right clients or the right fit clients.
Yes.
What's your biggest struggle with continually having a stream of these right fit clients for you?
Well, as a business owner, I think anyone on the planet would agree that it just doesn't happen fast enough because we all want to get to somewhere faster. I mean, it's kind of the world we live in these days. We want to get there as quick as possible, reach our goals as quick as possible. But I've really learned to love the journey and love the process and refine the process, make it better. What are we doing? How are we making a bigger and better difference in people's lives, and really allowing them to have a bigger and better future? But I mean, realistically, it's just getting those clients faster, I would say. And a lot of the other aspects of my business have been handled a lot by my team, and they're just really incredible.
Yeah, the strength of the team, it's huge. And yeah, and a lot of advisors tell me the exact same thing, relying on referrals too much, relying on events, that they're not able to get that right fit faster. I've found when advisors really become the expert, like you have a podcast, you have a platform, authors, blog posts, if you have a blog, if you have a book, if you have a podcast, you're creating content, and that content lives on, right? It's green, evergreen. But it also creates you, if you do it right, structure it right, as a content expert, as an expert in your field who people will look to. And so you'll get those unsolicited responses to your pieces and to your podcast, as you mentioned. So that's definitely a way to get things going faster. I will tell you, with the book, with interviewing over 500 financial advisors about achieving balance, and now we're starting into our second book, Balanced Growth, that the feedback is exactly the same. I wish I could create a stronger way to do this faster. We do that here at the Make Time Institute. We can help advisors really become content experts through partners, through our own coaching programs. And it's definitely something, if you're interested, give us my unabashed plug here, give us a shout out and let us know how we can help. But, it's so refreshing to hear that here's somebody who has balance, and you can keep it even as you're scaling it, even as you're growing your business, as you're growing your team. But there are other advisors who haven't even got to this point yet. They haven't been able to really make that mindset shift, Bill, where they're able to say, gee, I've got to really have balance. And they're still just after scaling. They don't even have the balance yet. What do you see as some of the biggest issues for other advisors to really have this balanced growth that you're experiencing?
Trying to do too much, wearing all the hats in the business. Those are obvious ones. I'm sure a lot of people say that. Really not understanding what your minimum check should be. And let me go into a little bit more detail about this. One of the things they've taught us at Coach is you look at your past 5 biggest checks over the past 12 months. You could do it for advisory business or commission business or whatever type of product you do with your clients, or do it for both. And then just take an average of that. When you do that, it's like, wow, I've done well in this area, done poor in this area. It's a wake-up call. I mean, you have to tell yourself the truth, because all progress is going to start when you tell yourself the truth. So when you really look at where your revenue is coming in from a business standpoint, you just can't say yes to everyone. Again, no is a sentence, but if you know that you will only accept certain kinds of clients, and it's not saying you have to have $1 million, but if you look at it from a revenue standpoint, does it fit your model? You have to have a model. You should have a model. And most people are just so caught up in getting the next person in the door. Whereas think long-term, think of recurring revenue, Just like if you're going to go into retirement yourself, like how do you have your money last for you? Should be the same thing for your business. How could you have your money work for you while your clients are hopefully having their accounts grow? And I don't think people think like that. They just think, I need the next thing. I need it now. And they don't give themselves enough space. Think about this. If you plan out the next 25 years of your career, 25 years times 4, we have 100 quarters. 100 quarters to make a difference in people's lives. And I think that gives you permission to slow down and to really start thinking longer term about how your business should run. If something happened to you, how long would your business last for? Are you thinking long term for your clients? Probably not. I think advisors miss that because the training in our industry, I had great training when I started my career, really grateful for the people. I still communicate with them all the time, but it's all pretty much cookie cutter. You got to pound the phones, you got to do this, you have the business canvas, and now you have to send emails and automate marketing and all this stuff that's not genuine and use these pre-packaged ideas that don't work. I think you need to be creative. You need to make it your own. And people want someone who's genuine. Clients want a genuine human being and not this pre-packaged product. That's what I think.
Yeah. Being genuine, again, kind of comes back to your value that you mentioned to me earlier about being, yourself, coming up with your own ideas, being original, right, with content. People appreciate that. They want that today. They want the transparency. They want to pull back the curtain, don't they? I think they really relate to it. So what advice would you give to other advisors who are trying to scale and trying to achieve this balance all at the same time?
Focus on smaller groups and not bigger groups. I think that's a game changer. Understand what is the smallest check that you would receive from a check writer or from a client. That could be for assets under management or commissionable type product. I don't know. It depends on the advisor's business model, but you need to set a standard and understand that you have to start saying no to these wrong fit type of clients and create your business model completely around that and make it an experience. Create a lifestyle, make it like a movement or a community, and create a brand around it. I mean, that's what we've done with the Retire As You Desire, with the book, the website, podcast, because people love that. It puts a smile on their face. When you go to our website, you click on our pictures and it shows like, here's what I'm really doing with my life. And it shows pictures of your family and like being goofy and being fun and what we like to do. And just be yourself and go your own path. I would really recommend people to go their own path, and following other people's footsteps in general could be good, but make it your own. Do it in your own way, in your own voice.
Yeah, this is great. Appreciate your, really being straightforward, telling us how it is, what you've learned, and being able to share with us the struggles that you have with scaling yourself, and knowing that we struggle with this. A lot of advisors struggle with that. And several other of these nuggets that you've shared have been perfect. Like, I know our advisors need to hear this, and they need to hear it not just from me all the time, but someone who's got great balance, who's working towards scaling. It's exactly what this part of the podcast is all, designated to be about. So thank you, Bill. Thank you for your comments here today, and for being on the show.
Travis, this has been great. Really, really great. I appreciate your time, your awesome questions, and what you're doing to help other financial advisors, because the more successful they become, it's going to have a ripple effect for their clients and their people who they help in their lives. So it's great energy all around.
Yeah, absolutely. Love your abundance mindset and just helping out and being a help to this industry. It'll always come back to benefit you and others out there. So thank you again. listeners, if you loved this, which I hope you did, reach out, connect with Bill. He's on social, he's very active. We've got his website in the show notes. Like, share, comment, subscribe, give us a great rating, do all the things. But if there's someone out there who another advisor who needs to hear Bill's story, share it with them. Send it over and link that. We desire to continue and give great content from incredible guests like Bill throughout the show, and we'll continue to do so. So stay balanced and remember, live life on purpose.